Test, test, test. Okay, I'm back again in another Animoji live stream broadcast or podcast or whatever that is. So basically, I actually have an unintentional free time this morning, but I eventually cannot utilize it at all because at the time that I want to start it, I already got interrupted, so I didn't do any kind of productivity things besides for the scheduled intentional free time, which basically gonna be very long if I try to utilize it effectively. It turns out it's just going into some regular weekly intentional free time, which definitely pretty short. So that's the reason why I most likely won't be able to create any kind of pre-recorded Animoji or native language podcast that I basically not sure when will I be able to prepare because next week is already the limit the, for me to prepare more videos because if not then the 2 days consistent upload will be no longer applied, which is yeah, it's pretty shame. Even though it doesn't really matters actually, because at some point we're just human, not a robot, perhaps, or the one that keep trying to spam over and over again in a very short amount period of time. So yeah, that's the reason why maybe I'm also not really feeling very good as well. So that's the reason why I am just pretty lazy to do personal productivity, including playing the games that I always try to play every day. And right now, maybe because the trainer or mod menu that I usually use is currently outdated and will need to wait for the developers to update those trainer in order to work properly in the latest update of the game. So besides, there is another alternative that I able to do, but for some reason after I tried to do it once it's no longer work, which I just don't know what is actually the real reason. Maybe because I'm not trying to ask other people's about my related problems, because there is other people who basically experience similar things but not really that same. So it's probably related with the antivirus, I'm not sure, because yeah, to be honest, I just don't want to make it too weak for the dream gadget, because for some reason it's sometimes it's also acting a little bit weird even with the most recommended protection settings that I try to apply. So that's the reason why maybe there is some malware from the Chinese product, I'm not sure. Or maybe Chinese products are easy to get malware, I'm not sure as well. So yeah, what else did I basically want to talk about? So after this I will try to do a good behavior recording, but obviously not gonna be as long as yesterday, because yesterday I am able to do it for half an hour, and most likely in next half an hour I will get interrupted, perhaps, I'm not sure. So yeah, basically in the longer the reason why I cannot utilize this longer intentional free time is because I am trying to focus on testing the things that I basically try to sell for quite cheap price, but I'm just trying to be as professional as possible just in case it doesn't goes the way that the buyer expected. So that's the reason why I'm trying to test it as much as possible. And What else? So I tried to bought something first because I didn't notice that most of the cables, USB-C cables that I currently had, is cannot be applied into the HS Necodex K780 K780T. I'm not sure. So yeah, even though yeah the housing is just pretty weird, it's so narrow. So that's the reason why I only able to do it with the cables from the phone, which is usually pretty small, unlike the one that basically apply use on a regular laptop. I'm not sure. So MacBook USB-C is actually pretty small, maybe because it was also used on the iPad and probably iPhone. Maybe if there's no longer use Lightning, even though Lightning to USB-C is also pretty standard in terms of the size of the housing. And yeah, it turns out the cable that I tried to bought this afternoon is pretty short, so I'm not sure whether the buyer will complain or not, because for some reason I already tried to change the description of the things into not included with the type C, but I tried to include it just in case. It's basically use the same cable that I tried to use for the testing. Yeah, I'm actually able to use the micro USB as well, but yeah, I don't know, I'm just too lazy to pick up the cables from the from the storage, which basically have a lot of dust, which is yeah gonna make me a little bit itchy. So that's the reason why I'm trying to prevent those kind of things. I rather bought a new instead of finding so many unnecessary things that I have bought so many years. And so yeah, I wish I could make all of those in some sort of museum where people can enjoy or utilize all of those things. And yeah, if they actually wanted to have, I'm actually willing to give them for free, as long as it's basically, I don't know, accountable into some sort of application that I can track what kind of things that I used to sold in the past. Because for some reason, if you talk about my favorite marketplace, there are some policy or regulation that I try to make their system efficient, so all of the old data is sadly removed, which is really annoying, because to be honest, I really love seeing old data, because yeah, it's just like seeing historical, which definitely gonna be a lesson learned for us. So yeah, it's already 9 minutes, and to be honest, if you talk about my previous many previous of my what many of my previous broadcasts or podcasts is usually a little bit more motivated, but right now I'm just more unmotivated than usual. And yeah, I think I already got interrupted, which is yeah, it's faster than I thought, so I didn't able to do any kind of good behavior recording. So yeah, I think I will try to end this stream, even though I basically able to do it a little bit longer until several minutes more, but yeah, it's just not really worthy. So yeah, this is the only productivity things that I try to do in this day, even though the free time is actually pretty long, unlike yesterday or yesterday is actually pretty long as well, but I decided to use it for doing unproductive things, including the bad behavior, which, yeah, it turns out I'm still trying to do it before going to bed. So even though I'm still kinda able to prevent